way that they were able to turn that one around. And a lot of the times you did pick up heroes like the Earthshaker as a bit of a counter to the PA. Back, was it a couple of years ago now, when the Enchant Totem actually gave the True Strike, but it doesn't anymore, not even with the Aghanim Scepter. So you're always going to be able to just miss those attacks. And of course, the Ags provides the Cleave as well as a bit of a, you know, here, feel good about this. You can farm a little bit more effectively, but certainly against the PA, if it gets to the later stages, I do feel a lot of confidence in Lucas to be able to take this one out. And I feel like a big part of it is going to be off the back of Igor, just, again, keeping the lanes shoved away, making sure that you're not losing too much of these areas of the map, because you would have to expect that Navi, minute 15 or so, they're going to expect that tier 1 tower to be dead, and they're going to expect Ursa to potentially look to take that Roshan so that they can look to play aggressively and suffocate the areas that MoneyMakers are looking to try and play on the map.
The battle begins.
So interesting how the regions differ between the common heroes that we get. In China, we're getting a lot of Terrorblade carries. I mean, we're getting a couple of Venge games here, but I mean, really, in particular for me in Eastern Europe, it's got to be this Earthshaker mid, dude. Did we see it once in China? I don't remember a game we covered with the mid Earthshaker.
Nope. Might have seen one off lane.
I think you're right. I think Chalice played it.
Slayer's doing a cheeky thing, just walking around here as if he's used his sentry. Oh, nice play quickly onto that boar, but Malik is able to get the denial on it. So very important to make sure that you're not giving away too much of that experience over to the Dire lineup. They give so much XP, both the Hawk and the boars, that you just don't want to give those ones away for free. Slayer looks like he'll be able to just body block this off. Yep, nicely done. So again, just keeping multiple uses of those sentry wards available to be able to potentially bait out a bad sentry block by the rest of his team. But it's really level 2 that they're looking to play for here. They might be looking to build up a few of these magic stick charges to enable the dive. Just wait for the power cogs. Battery assault into the blood grenade. They're getting some really solid denies off here on Navi to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, this Hawk is so annoying in the lane. Oh my god. Alright. I guess it does die more often though, which, again, like you're saying, you got to be pretty on point with the denies then for Malik and Denial.
When it's low level, once it starts to build up, I mean, PA probably one of the better answers against it, and I guess the Coddle as well, just considering how much AoE damage that you have, but 60% magic resist when it's maxed out is kind of nuts.
Yes, it is indeed. So 10 and 4 compared to the 6 and 0 already at this top side of the map, and then of course our other side lane at the moment, Dawnbreaker's struggling to be able to pick up some loss. It's 3 and 1 compared to the 6 and 0. We'll see though, as soon as the level's picked up from MoneyMakers, how aggressive they are looking to get inside this lane.
Yeah, you have to say level 3, right? Just
top lane Slayer.
Oh,
It should be our first blood. Not gonna have to worry too much about the battery assault. Hawkeye indeed will do it. Alex gonna find it.
And mid, done pretty much as expected. I mean, that's the advantage of having this Keeper of the Light, right? You're going to be farming on Melojul, but you know that Igor is going to be able to pick up his farm too. He should never really be in a position to have too much of his net worth hindered by the Earthshaker. Even just being able to get a bunch of these denies off. Nicely done, though, with that one by Melojul. Making sure to pop the Illuminate just a little bit early. So he's gotten 2 range creeps in a row now off the back of that.
And what are we hoping the itemization is going to be out of Igor? Because we haven't really seen the Coddle mid too much lately in the qualifiers. There's been a couple of games where it's been banned out, like very situationally in the last phase, but what do we feel like he's going to be thinking? He has the Spirit Vessel currently queued up. First, do we like that? And what could the progression be afterwards?
It's going to depend on like when he looks to pick it up, right? Going up against the Ursa, he's just going to pop the Enrage and then not really care too much about it. I mean, even just having the Vessel to be able to cancel out blinks sometimes, but I would have to say Melody's probably dead. But you get a turnaround. You got to say that just having that tool to be able to prevent a lot of these blink daggers from having impacts in fights is going to be a really useful tool, not just for the Earthshaker, but for the Ursa as well.
Okay.
Looks like
you said,
this bad laning Ursa's doing pretty well, Lockie. I don't know what's going on.
Quite surprised. I mean, yeah, Shigetsu, well done. Clap, clap. Doing a very good job.
Undervaluing the Venge, man. It's all Melody.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Whose pub matchmaking name is Good Job Valve, good matchmaking system. So clearly the 10k support has had some bad things happen recent times.
Shigetsu should be okay. They've already used all their spells. Blood Grenade a little bit wasted, so he's able to step out. Still 2 tangos and a lot of stick charges as well. They're actually going to give him the Salve instead, so... Yeah, just doing we'll see what the decision's going to be if he wants to go and opt for the Battle Fury. Of course, we already know that's going to be the decision of Lucas. I mean, there is no other build really for that Phantom Assassin who has been able to catch up a little bit more. We saw early on the last hits were very much favoring Malik, but it is kind of changed now. Slayer. He's fine. Oh, Lucas. Okay, he got the ball.
You say there's no other build for the PA, but you haven't seen my pubs. I've seen the phylactery PA support stuff come out. Same cooldown, right? 6 seconds on the dagger and the phylactery. Just think of all that damage.
Yeah, has it been winning games?
Oh, I'm not playing it. Don't get me wrong.
No. But Lucas?
Thankfully, it's been against me a lot of the time. We love Hawkeye. Hawkeye, no.
Yeah, they might go for denial.
Yeah, he's a squishy
Creeps
boy.
are starting to tank up the battery salt, which is stopping some of the damage out of Moneymakers. And yeah, Malik can stand strong and turn it back on a Slayer. He's got some stick charges, and that would be enough to actually keep him alive in the end. There is a lot of back and forth with spells and right clicks being traded. No real kills just yet at the moment, though, but it is the resource battle. Meanwhile, inside the river, Melodul along with Melody. Really nice use of the telekinesis that might get him actually out to safety here, and maybe even a turnaround as well, as the Dawnbreaker is going to rotate on over. So it will be a 1-for-1 across the map.
Just an illusion up top. Not amazing for either of these heroes. Looks like Korea in a little bit of danger. Never mind. Decent micro coming out from Melodul there. But all 3 lanes really just going in favor of Navi at this point. And this is what I was talking about when it came down to it needing to really be like a huge draft victory for Moneymakers if they were going to be able to take the W in this one. It just comes down to those individual skill. Like, we were looking at the top lane for the first 2-3 minutes of that match, and I was just super impressed by the amount of denies that they were able to get off there, preventing them to scale off the back of levels on Moneymakers.
Shigetsu,
like Slayer wants to try and yoink away the Wisdom Rune here. They don't see him. He's pathing inside of the fog, so he's going to run into the Skywrath Mage, though.
Slay should be able to get her right with the cogs push away. Well, it's a pretty good timing out of the silence. It's up the quick fingers. Denial's going to get it. Slay might get a solo kill, in fact. And it doesn't get the Wisdom Rune. Oh, no, the battery sword expired. All right, so he's able to get away with the rune. Meanwhile, Bignum...
Same thing happened on the other side.
Yeah.
The Moneymakers were able to get that one, at least. So, you know, little victories going their way. Still, though, you got to be scared that you've already been able to pick up this Helm of the Dominator on Malik. He's even got a neutral item to be able to play around with, getting very close to his level 6 as well. Bit of a backstab potentially happening here onto him, though. He just hits up onto that ultimate. They're going to pull him.
Solid Guardian. All right. That is so much hate for poor old Malik.
Surely. Okay.
I mean, the Avenge is going to do whatever he can. Maybe even be able to get the kill onto the Clockwork. Slayer's still alive for the moment. The ball will get the finishing blow, but Melody will give a double kill to Lucas. Some much needed gold injected into his bank.
But the issue is, like, I guess it evens out because it is the PA that gets both of those kills, right? But I'm always concerned when you've got an Ursa that's just sitting on this bottom line and farming, and we're not seeing any sort of Battle Fury coming through here from Shigetsu. He is going for an early Roshan taking build, and he's going for a Diffusal Blade as well. So really just looking to keep the pressure going, find a way to be able to get in on top of this Keeper of the Light and prevent him from running away. Again, it's a ballsy move, right? You really give up your late game scaling potential, but if you just dominate the early game so hard, it really doesn't matter. So
this looks really awkward for Moneymakers. Yeah, Melodul's going to be able to cut off one. The fissure was just a little bit short to block Bignum in as well. They want to... Can they even get the kill? Looks like with the slows from Denial. Melju's going to be able to continue to chase him down. Finds a perfect way to cut through the trees as well and snipes him with the enchant totem damage. So double kill for Melju. It's going to get him that much closer towards his blink dagger as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Even gives a nice little bottle sip over to Denial. Really feels like they just want to go back up top and open up this map a little bit more. You know, the whole thing about playing this lineup is you want to have control over the top area. You want to use this early Helm of the Dominator to be able to take this tier 1 tower and then progress to potentially gank the PA, especially when you're getting involved with a bunch of kills like Denial is, right? He's already level 5.5. He wants to be able to find that raw into the Mystic Flare onto the PA right now. And look at all the boys just pushing down this lane. Not exactly the greatest heroes to be able to contest this. All Slayer can do is pull the wave back.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Very balanced, fair.
Yes, yes, indeed. Definitely say this would be one of the bigger advantages of the Beastmaster versus the PA. Like, we have seen PA's been very nice to deal with Beast, but if you get out of the lane kind of unscathed and a pretty good Helm Dom timing, it's very similar to the anti-mage in a way where you don't like your objectives getting claimed and you don't like your supports getting killed off like they are, or their Igor's Illuminate. Be able to keep Slayer alive.
Helm Dom creep.
I'll get it too.
I mean, these are pretty big wins coming through from MoneyMakers right now. You know, forcing out a Raw, not getting the tower early on, pulling things back. Ursa, sure, he hasn't really gotten all that involved so far, and he's going to be a lot scarier once he picks up that Diffusal Blade for himself. But I don't know, man. Like, they're slowly just winning these little engagements. By the way, just the decision not to go into the Wild Axes and instead go the Call of the Wild was why I was like, oh, wow, they're doing really well in this lane on Navi to be this far ahead, right? That is what you pick the PA for, to be able to counter this sort of build with your pure damage. Igor setting himself up to once again try and slow down this push. Maybe feeling confident without the stuns available, but it's just inevitable. That attack speed aura.
Oh, all right. Why not? Melojul, instant use of the Echo Slam. The Solar Guardian's going to be enough to keep Igor alive for the moment. They're going to try and turn to Denial now as well, as with the help of Lucas, they'll get the kill, and that Blink reveal doesn't really give them a whole lot from Navi, so they're pretty happy with that from MoneyMakers. I mean, that is 5 heroes that has to be there, though, for that to occur.
Wasn't with the urn, unfortunately, yet for Igor. It's still coming to him on the courier right now, so doesn't have that to be able to play around with. This is actually a really early Roche attempt by Shiketsu on the bottom side. He's already used the Enrage, and he's actually getting scouted out as well. So very nicely done. These little plays by MoneyMakers are working out amazingly.
Tower is under attack.
Diffusal's coming out for him as well. And again, if Roshan is what you're really wanting to play for, I'm sure if Roshan was a bit lower, they might have even considered contesting. I think they're going to be satisfied enough just knowing that this is an Ursa that is not going to be building up his net worth at the same scale of a PA if he's not taking these big objectives and being a part of these team fights.
It's going to be an Ursa who needs some assistance and will not get it, though. But Igor with a quick TP down with the Boots of Travel. Bignum's going to be able to snipe. Wait, hang on. Why was there 3 bounties there? What's going on?
All right, we'll take it. Shake was busy trying to dominate the lane. So, all things considered, MoneyMakers should be extremely happy with this first 13 minutes of the game.
Lucas going uncontested currently. The component completed with the Claymore. Navi going to try and mirror this move, though. They do have the Echo up in 20, so they're not going to have it for this fight. On a pair with Shigetsu, though, with the Diffuser Blade. A kill down here would probably guarantee Roche. Nice scan, though, from MoneyMakers. Will this give them an inkling of what's going on? They might still run into Igor.
Looks like he backs off. He knows. Pinging out the general region, they know that people have been patrolling around this area, and this really feels like where they want to take that next team fight. They don't have any vision in here right now, so they don't know that a lot of their stacks are being taken away.
Slayer. Hookshot into the Solar Guardian is very close to the tier 1 tower. This is looking a little bit awkward if they're unable to blow him up, and that would not be the case thanks to Melody's save. They'll even get Slayer as well by the looks of it. Melojul quickly there to be able to stop the TP. That was ambitious ambitious attempt. And now bottom lane as well, Shigetsu solo kills Lucas. I mean, there's no way he makes it out of this one alive, but the fact that we can see him even solo kill Lucas at this stage of the game is what the Diffusal Blade is able to provide him. He's going to try and juke through the trees, but Igor and Bignum sieve him out.
I mean, I suppose he's kind of doing his job, right, in effectively slowing down the PA, but PA would have still been involved in an assist for that. He's not getting that really early Roshan timing that he wants because, again, I guess not as much anymore, right? The second Roshan not giving the Aghanim Shard means that you don't see anywhere near as much value of the Ursa as you did previously, but he's still going to be able to move up towards this top side a lot sooner and be able to take it because there's no tower for them to TP to be able to contest up against that. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense for Malik to kind of just be up there as the bodyguard anyway, right? Just to be pushing in that tier 2 tower.
Another blade mail, huh? Okay.
For
blade mail for the Dawnbreaker?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were saying another one, and I'm like, oh, who else has got one? But, I mean, he just was chain stunned far too well that he wasn't able to pop it super early into that previous fight. So by the time he ended up getting use out of it, he was already down at 20%. Goes to show you the value of the Venge swap coming through there from Melody.
Yes. And that's something we're going to see for a lot of this game as well, unless Slay is able to have something else to say about that. It's really going to be up to him to be able to catch out the Venge. And do we...
PA's got a Battle Fury, so not the best timing, but not the worst. And Lucas is going to be very happy at being able to just move on to where a lot of these stacks have started to be built up. Just the 1 point in the blur, it's all he needs.
Slay does run into Melody, but it's going to be a bit awkward with Malik's positioning as well. Quick and easy kill. Brosh is definitely now up for grabs. Shigetsu's already in the pit as well. No messing around from him. Malik's going to be able to help out pretty shortly as well. Do we like kind of how Igor's been playing this early game? 2-0-1, but this, he's had this Spirit Vessel Boots of Travel for a while. We saw him gank bottom once, but hasn't really been too proactive since then.
I think it's okay as long as he's keeping lanes shoved, right? You've only lost a tier 1 tower so far, which doesn't feel horrible, right? You've got so much stuns, you've got so much push with an early Helm of the Overlord.
Oh, Malachul. It's a big Echo Slam. All he saw were the creeps, didn't know where the Cotter was, but no hesitation with jumping over the top. And now Melody is going to be able to swap back to Dawn. Nice stolen swap, though. Bignum will keep his offlaner alive.
Well, he was doing well until he ended up dying that one time, but I think that a lot of the emphasis needs to be given over to Melachul for being able to make that happen. Slayer needs to go for a bit of a cheeky hook shot play just to be able to not feed his life away one more time. But this is the fast pace that Navi are wanting to be playing around. 17 minutes in, invading into the triangle area. It's probably had a slight more value, the bottom tier 1 relative to mid, but they end up getting both anyway. And they're just not going to let up. Don't give Lucas anywhere to be able to farm. They know that he's probably going to be in the safest places, and they know that he's not going to be a factor for this next little bit.
Swap up in one. Not even going to need it. Missile to combine with the Mystic Flare. They're pinging out like a ward is there. That is just natural read from Navi. And now a tier 2 tower that's going to follow off the back of the kill as well. They will, of course, pop the glyph to try and stall this. But, dude, look at the vision that Navi is starting to get set up across the map. This is going to make it very scary over the next 3.5 minutes. Still with his ages on Shigetsu.
It's just a wall of vision. There's nothing that they can do to be able to stop this. And, well, it's just so scary to be able to put anyone out on the map. The places that Dawnbreaker is positioning herself in, it's the right sort of thing right now, just to keep them, try and force them back as much as possible. But if you're Navi, that is the last place that you want to be. You want to keep on pressing forward. You want to be using your vision to its fullest potential. You want to be taking even more tier 2 towers so that there's lesser and lesser places for you to be able to pick up this farm on your PA. And, well, now Melachul, he's even got a Haste Rune alongside his level 12 Echo Slam and Aghanim Scepter.
Or Bignum. In front of a tier 3 tower that they're able to just do that for free.
Slayer's just feels like a smoke popper right now. The walk back, not giving his life up for free, but The worry is, man, Lucas is eventually going to pop the blur to walk into this creep wave, but it doesn't feel like the safest place to be. Oh, and they're going to know you could just blind echo.
Oh, no. Yeah, won't even need it, dude. He's gonna, that's all he's gonna do, jump over the top, try and get cute with escape. But the Haste Melody is always gonna be able to stick onto his target. Navi just sweeping across the map. And they can do this because, again, of all the wards set up. They're gonna see the Dawnbreaker here. Instant draw on the map from Shigetsu. And what's gonna stop them from going for this tier 2 tower and trying to take a fight? And MoneyMakers actually want to force a fight. Let's see how this is gonna, what they can do off the back of this smoke.
I mean, I guess they're feeling relatively confident with the Force Staff, with the Spirit Vessel, but they're going to need to get that jump instantly onto Melojul. Breaks the loop.
All right.
Is it all this? The chain control there? He could just jump away.
Ooh, does he want to use the echoes? Because the team's coming over. Won't get it off fast enough, so all right. Big kill. Navi kind of slight mistake, you know. I mean, you could say it looks like they were trying to group up with the Earthshaker. He thought they were nearby, not to be. And MoneyMakers just sense an opportunity, and important for them to be able to capitalize on it, though. Continues to give a little bit of time to Lucas, although he's inside the base, so not really farming.
Underneath the ward as well. They know that he's TPing down here towards the bottom side, so they're even just pinging it immediately, saying this is the place that the PA is farming. There is no way for him to contest. We've got an outnumber as soon as our Shaker's back available.
Oh, look at Shigetsu. No hesitation with jumping behind the T2 tower. He has nothing to fear at all. Already MKB is on his mind as well with the status of this game. He's going to be able to get it at a pretty good timing, and T2 tower once again will go down for free.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
This is just the mark of a confident team, right? They're just saying, look, we know that we've got the stuff to be able to get out of the laning stage in a good spot and to be able to start contesting your high ground before PA really becomes a factor. We're going to punish your relative greed with the PA going into the Battle Fury. Not that it's greedy at all, but if you just have a hero that stays off the map for this long, that isn't able to contest all that much, it's always going to be something that you need to be considering. I think Shigetsu might even just blink up here to try and contest the Wisdom Rune.
Without a doubt.
Slayer.
Ooh.
Yeah, he just has to give it up.
I'll probably get Tormentor as well. I mean, Venge is a nice shard. Unfortunately, you get the Sky one, which is, I mean, still okay, but...
It's okay.
Oh, Melojul.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait, what? Why was there... I don't know why the hell there was a creep there. I mean, they're still going to be able to cut him off. Nicely done. Melody tipping in, and they're going to scout him out inside the tree line. Melojul, dude... They're just everywhere, man. The read from him on where the Phantom Assassin was farming, and just the instant response from the rest of Navi as well to try and TP down and convert on the kill.
They're in their head. That's all it is, right? Like, they've got only one tier 2 tower to be able to play around. We just took the Tormentor, so we can't be here. We just swept through the Ancient Camp, so we can't be here. And, you know, it's not exactly easy to be able to move across the map inside of the inside of the Radiant Ancient area either. So where exactly is he meant to farm on this PA?
What are you supposed to do when you got a 5/2/2 Ursa? This is Big Doom. Okay. This takes you back to some scary times in the meta when Ursa's been able to do things like this, and when you get off to a good start, there can be nowhere safe to farm.
It's unbearable having to go up against all of this, and it's only going to get worse once he's got that MKB.
Well, they're going to try and smoke off the back of the BKB picked up from Lucas. Who is the target and how do they start? They might run into Denial first. And they're going to jump into it, but that's a BKB for almost what felt like a guaranteed kill, but he didn't see anyone behind him. They will see Shigetsu, though. Team starting to connect on over, and Rage will be able to get rid of the Spirit Vessel. Melojul's going to be playing in a position where he is ready to jump, and yeah, MoneyMakers, they're going to respect that without knowing where the Earthshaker is. Actually, sorry, they would have seen him underneath the Observe Ward, so yeah, they're not going to try and take a fight into where the Earthshaker is set up. So that is a BKB just for the kill into the sky.
Man, even just this ward to the north side of Dawnbreaker right now, just giving them nowhere free to farm on the map is just Honestly, it feels like the best target to be going on at this stage, right? If you go on the Dawnbreaker, she can't use the Solar Guardian to be able to create that outnumber. Of course, the alternative option is just to take even more objectives, reduce the safe places on the map for them to be. Really feels like they could just wait. They can wait for a little bit further for Ursa just to get that MKB. PA is not going to be able to get into some massive next item to be able to turn the game around in that period. Could potentially even get rewarded with a second Roshan that they're able to claim quickly before going up onto the high ground, considering how early you're able to take it as Ursa.
I mean, you're not going to with the position you're currently in, but eventually for Navi, it would be nice for them to get their Tormentor as well. You're at the moment, it's either going to be Venge or Earthshaker, or somehow Earthshaker gets ahead of Ursa. I mean, okay, never mind. He just bought his, so don't worry about the Ursa getting it. Then it's, I mean, potentially the Beastmaster, which is also pretty nice. So
yep, so many.
See when they. So many Hawky boys, and they're gonna smoke from MoneyMakers. Melodil does reveal in the lane. Let's see if they're gonna be able to blow him up from 4-0, but an incredible swap will be able to keep him alive. And now the initiation, it's gone wayward, and they're gonna be able to utilize this to their advantage. MoneyMakers are all grouped up for the kill, and meanwhile inside the river as well, Lucas, he's completely isolated. No one there to be able to help him out, and now they're gonna be able to catch up to the Dawnbreaker too. He'll get some separation. But Fish is up in 3 seconds if they want to go for it. Looks like the decision will not to be, but what a great instant swap from the Venge.
Instant swap a Melody on his Venge, and I mean, any other power rune, and you get the kill onto the Earthshaker, and maybe that's actually worth it, right? Because he made sure to go in after the Primal Roar was already used. That's why you see the Lincoln Sphere being purchased up by Igor. He realizes that you just need to enable this PA as much as possible to do damage in these team fights, and the only way to stop him is either a swap or a Roar. And, well, okay, she gets he's going to need to back off to prevent himself from dying to the old Tormentor.
By Slayer?
Another pick off onto Slayer, poor guy. And it's just going to set up for the next Roshan. They know it's top. It's about the time that it would have been respawning anyway. So it feels nice for them to be able to just claim a freebie like this. Looks like Melody might be looking to help Shigetsu claim this this Tormentor. There we go.
There you go. Very nice. Earthshaker got it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I don't think it needs a Fisher cooldown reduction in it.
Yeah, I just saw that, dude. I just saw that as well. I'm like, oh yeah, reduce it by 2. Very cool. I mean, I think you're saying that in the perspective of the Earthshaker mid lane. I think if it doesn't have a cooldown reduction, can you play this hero as a support?
Can people... Oh, is this going to snipe? Oh, so close. I thought the Rocket Flare might be able to do it. It depends who's playing it, right? If your positioning is good enough, anyone can make it work. But you know what? We haven't seen too much Shaker in recent times, so why not?
Yeah, and he's just a fun hero to watch as well. And like you said, TI Titan comes around, get some big Echo Slams, do some crazy stuff.
Building into a Silver Edge as well. So provided that you're not missing that hit onto the PA, you'll be providing a nice little break for all the evasion.
I was gonna say, they should know, yeah. Does a illusion rune break blur? Is it?
Yes.
I don't know.
It breaks TPs as well if it like expires as your TP, which is the biggest grief.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's so wild. The timing on that has to be so unfortunate. Yeah, I have seen that happen before.
Yeah, I think I saw it happen to Excalibur.
Yeah, unfortunate things. Super unfortunate, but obviously, you're going to need some unfortunate things to happen in Navi if MoneyMakers can have a way back in. And we'll see what Lucas can do with his Deso along with the Titan Sliver. But they do seem kind of hesitant.
Deso, Titan Sliver, and a Yule Scepter on the Rubik. I mean, definitely not a horrible item for him to be able to have with all that extra cast range to be able to use onto an Ursa, not just for the Enrage, of course, but just to be able to purge off the Overpower. No BKB picked up yet by Ursa, who's got MKB coming out to him right now. So if you're going to take any sort of fight, this is the time to do it before Ursa's at full potential denial.
Oh, they got a glimpse of Moneymakers. I mean, there's going to be a DD, but Melajul. Oh, that's a huge echo. What a start from Melajul. They just blow up the PA. Dawnbreaker has to split to the right, but Mimo back inside the river as well. The rest of Navi, they're cleaning up the other components. Igor's Coddle's going to be caught out. Shigetsu will jump over and find the bashes along with the damage here. Melajul. Just what a perfect position for him to be invised up with the Shadow Blade. I mean, again, we've spoken about like 1% chances for teams to come back. That DD increases it slightly. Maybe somehow you get lucky with some crits, kill some supports. But Melajul's positioning just to say, no. There's no chance of you finding a way back in.
No chance at all, and yeah, we can see there 5%, probably a little bit generous, gives them a little bit of a lesson about playing underneath vision, because they would have been nowhere near clumped up if they knew that there was an Earthshaker right there ready to take them out. Just does so much damage outside of the invis with the enchant totem, with the acro slam, with the enchanted quiver as well to top everything off.
And they're gonna stick around. Ain't much gonna stop them.
They didn't really pop much though on Moneymakers to be able to make that last fight happen. It's not like there was even a BKB used, just Spirit Form. It's up in another 5 seconds, so maybe they can make something happen here. Igor is super far forward.
Shigetsu turns really rage. It's a pretty good fissure to be able to buy some time here for the Ursa. Meanwhile, Malik's going to try and deal with the Rubik on the backline as well. Both heroes killed off the start. Lucas is trying to do what he can. He's going to jump into the low ground, but Lucas, just a suicide attempt. And at this stage of the game, exactly right. You had to go for some crazy stuff. And in the end, Navi, they're going to be rewarded with their Game 1 victory here off the back of the clean performance.
This felt like, you know, the #1 squad taking on an academy team, you know, just